Broadcasting from Park Avenue West, you're watching WMFD Television, Channel 68.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised.
Maybe an hour after we got the message that we lost Danny, Danny's sister said to us, we were all crying, and she says, "What do we do? What do we tell people?" And I'm like, "Baby, we got to tell them the truth. This is nothing that can be hidden, because otherwise the suicide will win."
We're not mental health professionals. It's just something that happened to our family. We direct people other places. And most important of all, I think, don't quit. Keep fighting. Keep living. Things will get better.
Good evening and welcome to Sparking the Conversation. I'm Jeff Heck, this is my wife Donna, and we are part of 33 Forever. We're so excited to be able to bring you weekly half-hour messages, stories, and resources surrounding mental health topics and their challenges. Now, our show's purpose and hope is to provide you with both information and inspiration, making conversations about mental health the norm.
Dr. Blake Wagner is a clinical psychologist and president of New Directions Counseling Center in Mansfield. New Directions was founded in 1999 and specializes in providing employee assistance programs for workplaces. New Directions currently serves 30 employers and 2 universities, covering over 30,000 lives in North Central Ohio. Blake is a pioneer in the development of outpatient innovations and has served on the board of the American Association for Behavioral Health Care and in the former associate editor of the journal The Continuum. As part of a research team at the University of Michigan, Blake also works with Blue Cross and Blue Shield to develop brief video wellness tools to promote work-life balance. Welcome, Blake. And to start out, could you start off explaining to us what an employee assistance program is and how you help employers address their mental health and substance abuse issues?
I can do that, but I have to. Jeff and I went to high school together, as you know. And I think I was about, 4 years behind you, Jeff?
No, not exactly. We were exactly the same grade.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, nice try, though.
But since your style signature are socks, I
like
thought
that.
as you enter your next season
That
here.
sounds great.
That
I love
is
that.
so
Thank you
awesome.
very much.
Be
That's
set.
great. Yes, and I like that. It
I
looks
play
like
pinball machines,
That-
so there's
Oh, okay.
pinballs.
I was
What
thinking it
a
looked like a
gift.
therapist chair. I wasn't sure what it was. That's great. Thank you very much.
You can wear those next episode, honey.
I will.
All right.
But back to your question. So
Yes.
what is an employee assistance program? Or we
Yes.
refer to it as EAP.
Okay. Very
And
good.
the cornerstone of the program is short-term counseling for employees and their family members. And the employer pays for the service so that it's free for employees and their dependents. And what we're really excited about is that so many people, we have Medicaid coverage and mental health board coverage for low-income folks, but there's a huge segment, especially in our area, folks that are more middle income who have high deductible insurance plans or maybe no mental health coverage. So we feel like we really are able to serve quite a gap of people to make counseling affordable for them.
Well, and I think one of the things that's really important is the workplace, is that sort of that forgotten area of mental health and substance abuse treatment and help, and that's a gap that your practice really provides, doesn't it?
Yes, and Jeff, one of the key focus of your program and what we do is getting people aware of mental health issues and accessing help. And by working with supervisors, they're kind of the eyes and ears of our program, because the problems when people are going through a difficult marriage, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, substance abuse problems, it'll affect their work performance in terms of absenteeism, or what we call presenteeism, which is where you show up to work but you're not really all there.
Yeah.
And so it's a great way through training supervisors to get people into the help that they need.
Yeah.
How do you train them?
Well, we have online training modules, and we can also come on site and work with the supervisors.
Okay.
And Don, it's a process we refer to as constructive confrontation. No one likes to deal with a problem employee, and of course, a lot of people, for example, if they have an alcohol drug problem, they're going to be very defensive and angry and blaming, but we walk them through a process, which is detailed on our website, of confronting people, keeping their focus on the job performance. They're not psychologists, they're not there to diagnose people, but to keep the focus on the job performance. And it's a powerful inducement to getting help when your employer is recommending strongly, that if you don't improve, you won't have a job here. And then you have the availability of confidential, free help. So we see a lot of folks that way.
I think that's super important. And I think, you deal with 30 different employers, I think Donna said in the introduction, and 2 universities. The employers in this area, Blake, seem to recognize the importance of good mental health in their workforces. And what are some of those obstacles that you've seen?
Yeah, increasing with COVID, it's kind of amplified, as you've discussed, everything in terms of domestic problems and workplace conflicts and certainly emotional problems. And so absolutely, human resources people are ready to pull out their hair, in terms of dealing with these, and their managers are really hungry for help because, it's so important with the shortage of workers to be able to retain people. And so if you can, again, constructively confront somebody and get them into help, a lot of times we're able to get them back on track, and that's what's most important to us and them.
Well, just a question kind of on the side. Do the employees feel that the employer is caring when they're doing this, or do they feel they're being attacked?
For sure. Well, most, that depends.
Yes.
Most referrals we get, we call them self-referrals. Employees, we constantly promote the service, so they're aware of it. So most of our referrals are, the employee going through grief, loss, some kind of issue. But a lot of times when the supervisor recommends a referral, we refer to that as a formal referral. Obviously, no one wants to be pointing out their job performance is subpar, but a lot of times people really appreciate that there is a resource that they can use for help.
And it's not you're in, you do this or you're out. I mean, it really offers an opportunity to kind of correct some things where you're having problems. We've got to take our first break.
Okay.
We're gonna come back with more Sparking the Conversation with Dr. Blake Wagner right after these messages.
Catalyst Life Services, a comprehensive behavioral health organization, has been serving the community for 70 years. Our wide array of wraparound services and our ability to treat the whole person is what sets us apart. It's everything you need in one place: mental health, crisis, detox and addiction services, case management, and peer recovery support. We even offer vocational programming to get you back to work. Catalyst Life Services. Call today and get the help you need.
If you've been injured, whether personal injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you are not alone.
And you definitely don't have to fight alone. While you focus on recovery, let the Heck Law Offices focus on your case.
With over 45 years of combined legal experience, we understand your situation and the entire overwhelming legal process.
With an injury you're already handling too much, let our team be your advocate.
I'm Jeff Heck.
And I'm Jeff Stifler.
We're Mansfield's Injury Lawyers. Call us today or visit us at hecklawoffices.com.
For the finest pizza and subs in Mansfield, look no further than the Leaning Tower of Pizza, boasting the best buns in town. Leaning Tower has been baking up thousands of pizzas and subs made fresh daily from their own bakery for nearly 60 years. Lunch is served from 11 to 3 every weekday with lunch-size pizza, subs, and antipasta salad. Dinner, how about a Leaning Tower pizza? Available in 3 delicious sizes. Subs, there simply is no better. Leaning Tower of Pizza, you're gonna love their food.
At Temple Christian, you can find academic excellence, biblical worldview, loving teachers, safe environment, small class size, instructing according to God's Word.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. We're here with Dr. Blake Wagner from New Directions here in Mansfield, and he's talking about employee assistance programs and the programs that are available for companies and universities here in this area and region, and the services you provide. One of the things I know has to be a big issue with dealing with mental health and substance use disorders in the workplace is the stigma. Talk about that a little bit, if you would.
Absolutely. We in EAP work, we don't, have posters saying, "Are you depressed, having panic attacks?" This type of thing. We refer to what we call life management problems. So like a poster we might use is, "Life is too short to spend it unhappy." So our message is, by life management, things that we all relate to. We all have arguments in our relationships. We all have high stress. And interestingly, most people, even if they have an anxiety disorder, they tend to think that, I just stress out easily. Or if they're clinically depressed, they think, well, I'm just really irritable. So again, we try to use language that people identify with and let them know that there are small action steps you can take. And a lot of work we've done with interactive website and digital work, hopefully we'll see one of our videos here soon tonight, is kind of taking counseling or taking therapy to them, if you will. Our mission is to help people help themselves.
So for instance, if there is a tragic occurrence at a workplace, whether it would be somebody passing away or some sort of criminal activity, you would they call you right away, or do you just
Absolutely. We try to 24/7 be there as soon as we can. It's so crucial from a mental health standpoint that people that we can do critical incident stress debriefing right away on the work site, and so that's a common use employers have for our counselors.
So I think one of the things that's very interesting and that you have already referenced is how the interaction with mental health, substance use disorders, and the workplace, it doesn't just affect you. Your workplace is a big part of your life, so the workplace doesn't just affect you at work, but it affects you in other parts of their lives too, and you can help with that.
For sure, yeah. We say to people when we orient the employees that, when you have problems at home, they spill over to work. When you have problems at work, it spills over to home. So people can really see it's difficult to keep that balance. And many times, a little bit of assistance will go a long way, and we try to catch problems early whenever possible.
That's great. I think maybe this is going to be a good time to take the next break because we're given a little precursor of what's coming next.
We have a great video's coming, so we're going to take a break right now with Dr. Blake Wagner, and we'll be back with Sparking the Conversation.
I wish I could go back in time.
But if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever.
If he only knew how many lives he had touched and how deeply his loss would be felt.
If only he had accepted help.
Maybe he would have stayed.
I am so glad someone reminded me that I'm worth it and will always be worth it.
I'm glad that I have people now that support what I want to do in my dream of helping other people.
Need a reason to get up? Try a sausage McMuffin with egg or a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Buy one, get one free. Only on the app. Breakfast. It's on.
Recently moved, gotten married, or had a baby? Have a new job but no health insurance? No matter your situation, if you're looking for affordable health insurance, Get Covered Ohio can help. Some plans are as low as $10 per month. You could also qualify for free coverage through Medicaid. Make your free appointment and get covered today by calling 833-628-4467 or visit getcoveredohio.org. Sponsored by the Ohio Association of Food Banks, aired by OAB and this station.
Tired of that pan that always sticks?
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my new hammered pans from Gotham Steel. This complete set is guaranteed to beautify your kitchen like never before. Hammered pans are ultra non-stick and they're even oven safe up to 500 degrees. Any recipe looks great in these pans.
Get the full 15-piece set with free shipping for just 4 payments of $49.99. Call now.
Call 1-800-373-1260 or go to buyhammered.com. Selfie. Nailed it.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Stein. You know, we're always looking for new ways to cover stories in North Central Ohio. You can help us too by sending us news tips, some story ideas, pictures, or videos right to our newsroom email. Just send us your tip to newsroom@WMFD.com.
Welcome back. We're with Dr. Blake Wagner, and we just said a minute ago we're going to talk about a video called Mr. Potato Head, and it's like a type of intervention. Is that correct, Blake?
Right, it's one of our Inkblot series, which are brief videos, and this one we're going to see is focused on relationship conflict. And with the pandemic and the isolation, I think we can all relate to relationship conflict at home or at work. And researcher Dr. John Gottman, University of Washington, has spent 30 years scientific study of couples, and amazingly, he can predict with up to 91% accuracy whether a couple will stay married or divorce in 6 years.
Oh my.
And in the next 4 minutes in this video, I'll point out the leading 4 warning signs that your relationship may need a tune-up.
That's great.
That is beautiful.
Let's go to that video,
Okay, Ryan.
Tiny shifts can lead to big changes. Isn't it crazy how strongly our moods are tied to how well our relationship is going? When things are going well, it's like everything is right with the world. But when things are going poorly, it's like all we can think about. I remember a time when my relationship was really dysfunctional. It's like I was constantly in my girlfriend's doghouse. Allie would rant and rave, criticize and complain.
You don't make enough money. You don't care about my feelings. You have a one-track mind. You're lazy and selfish.
But I have to admit, I was masterful at pushing Allie's buttons too. When she'd get all teary-eyed and emotional, complaining about some felony offense, like how I could leave toenail clippings in the bed, or didn't answer a call and texted back instead, I'd say to her, "Is there like a pill you can take for that?" Now you know that went over well. Like clockwork, Allie would bark back.
I wouldn't need to take Prozac if I wasn't dating you.
And the crazy thing is, she was probably right. We were bringing out the worst in each other. Then one day, everything changed. We were eating at Subway, and there was like zero communication. For days, we hadn't talked about anything except stuff like, have you seen the TV remote, or did you take my phone charger? Allie broke the ice.
Can we talk?
These 3 words triggered an eerie chill down my spine. It's like I feared that Allie's gonna pen me down right there at Subway and pry my heart out with a plastic fork. I mean, I'm a guy. I'd rather lick the sticky seat I was sitting on than open up about my feelings. In hindsight, I realized that there were an awful lot of feelings I had bottled up, but I felt too insecure, vulnerable to tell Allie how totally inadequate I felt. Like when she compared me to her ex-boyfriend. Or how she'd be perfectly content if I never touched her again. In that moment, I tried something that I'm not sure I'd ever done before. I listened, and I listened some more. And I tried to see our relationship as Allie saw it. And I tried to understand how she felt so disgusted and rejected. And it wasn't easy. The voice in my head was screaming out, "Defend yourself, Blake. Tell her she's wrong. It's her fault you shut down. Don't be a weenie." But I didn't. I just paused and breathed. At one point, she said that dating me with all my communication deficiencies was like being in a relationship with Mr. Potato Head. Let me tell you, that did wonders for my self-esteem. So I listened to her side of the story, and I surrendered to it. And I searched for the grain of truth in what she was saying. And I communicated my understanding of why Allie felt the way she did. And what was so freaky was that she had said those things hundreds, maybe thousands of times. But it was like I was hearing them for the very first time. Like the light bulb finally went off in my head. In that moment, I realized that I was a potato head. My pattern of shutting down and holding in my feelings wasn't just helping us avoid conflicts. I was hurting us, and I didn't realize it. And when I did all of this, listened, let her know that I understood, took responsibility for my screw-ups, something incredible happened. She softened. She looked at me with love in a way that I hadn't seen for a long, long time. Right now, let's see if we can apply this to you in your relationships. I want you to think of someone that you have conflict with, a lover, a friend, a roommate, a parent. The next time they become upset with you and possibly criticize and complain, make a 180-degree change. Instead of arguing back or becoming defensive, just stop, breathe, and listen, and try to understand how they see the conflict. Even if they seem 99% wrong, see if you can agree with the 1% that's on target. You see, because it's only after people feel understood or validated that they will open up their ears to your version of the story. Remember, it takes 2 people to fight, but only 1 person to end it. From now on, let that person be you. And remember, tiny shifts can lead to big changes. Good luck.
So what an amazing way to reach people. And I think the thing that's a great message is there, but also reacting to what our society does now, which is that we learn by videos. We learn by that, Blake. So talk about that just briefly, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we tried to do, our techniques are all what we call evidence-based. So these aren't just ideas that, popped into our heads. Based on Gottman's research, in that brief vignette, we showed what he calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, kind of the New Testament metaphor for the end of times. But these 4 habits, first, criticism. Allie would say, you're selfish, you're lazy. So she didn't complain about things that weren't being done. She's attacked Blake. The second horseman is contempt. And this is where we're just cruel. We just want to put the other person down, really hurt them. I don't care if you ever touch me again, she said in the video, or comparing him to an ex-boyfriend. So just kind of humiliating things, very toxic in a relationship when the contempt starts coming. Third is the defensiveness. And you notice Blake certainly fed into the cycle. He said, is there a pill you can take for that? So he implied that, she's the problem. She's got some kind of mood disorder or instability, very toxic. And then actually the most toxic of all was at the end, the stonewalling. You might see that video and think, well, Allie was the more, the angry one, but the stonewalling really is a predictor of a relationship breaking down. And couples will say, we grew apart. You hear that all the time.
Yep.
The stonewalling. And so maybe in a future episode, we can talk some of the remedies to this repair attempts and building a culture of appreciation. But at least we gave people a taste. Maybe they can identify with this and realize, I want to learn more.
Yep, I think that's a beautiful video just for teaching. Blake, we're going to have to take one more break.
Okay.
Stay with us. We'll be back with Sparking the Conversation.
The need for mental health and addiction services is rising. Life is getting harder. Our day-to-day living situation can be difficult to handle at times, and the pandemic certainly is not helping. Catalyst Life Services has a mental health and addiction urgent care available for all ages. Get the care you need when you need it and without an appointment. If you're facing the challenges of addiction or mental illness, know you can find help at Catalyst Urgent Care. It's the help you need when you need it the most.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get Nano's revolutionary technology for just $297. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The CIC Recharge is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not 1, but 2 Nano hearing aids for just $297. $297. Plus, we'll add a portable charging case and ship your order absolutely free. The CIC Recharge has a tiny in-the-ear canal design that is nearly invisible. Why keep missing out on important conversations or waste thousands of dollars? Call and get 2 CIC Recharge hearing aids for only $297 and free shipping.
800-458-9155. Again, that's 800-458-9155.
And we're back here. We're sparking the conversation with Dr. Blake Wagner. And Blake, we don't have a lot of time left here tonight, but you've got a special story of hope you want to share.
I want to read you this letter from a mother. She said, I'm writing to thank you for making your film Potato Head available to me. And I want to just take a moment to share with you how it touched my family. About 10 months ago, my son received a DUI. Due to finances, he is forced to move back in with me, and believe me, neither of us were too happy with the arrangement. My son did enroll in a college course, but he continued to drink. Although he wasn't drinking and driving, he was making poor choices. His father was an alcoholic, and I was frightened in the path that I thought he was on. Like that couple in the Potato Head video, we were constantly in a cycle of attack and defend. I would needle and nag him, and he would blow up. He'd yell out, "You need to treat me like a man, Mom." And I'd reply, "I'll treat you like a man as soon as you start acting like one." One night I saw Potato Head on your website, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I could see how my constant nagging and put-downs were feeding into the problem. The next time tension was building up, instead of launching into one of my lectures, I made a 180-degree change. I told my son that he was right, that I was not treating him like a man. And in truth, I was proud of him, starting back to school, working consistently, and I was ashamed of my blow-ups. I explained that deep down under my raging, I was terrified he would end up like his father. My son was stunned. He didn't seem to know how to respond. He mumbled, "Thank you," and walked out of the door to head to class. That evening, when I came back from work, I saw the table was set with fresh flowers on the grill. He was preparing cranberry shrimp, my favorite. I felt forgiven and loved. But the greatest gift was he told me he'd scheduled an appointment with a counselor on campus to get help with his drinking. In the past few months, things haven't been perfect. We still have our moments, but we're able to talk things through without damaging our relationship. Most importantly, he hasn't had a drink for 4 months. I wouldn't believe that'd be possible, but tiny shifts can indeed lead to big changes.
Beautiful.
There's nothing else that needs to be said. Dr. Blake Wagner, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for joining us on Sparking the Conversation. We'll see you next time.